Yo, have you ever stopped to think about what would happen if Madara Uchiha just showed up in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex? Like, would he look at this new generation and be completely disappointed by the level these ninjas are at? Would he try to take over the world again and become the biggest villain in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex? We're seeing Jura, Hidari, Mamushi, Code, Kawaki, and Momoshiki himself. Would Madara be forced to do the unthinkable? Team up with Boruto? I'm Shoyo, and today we're gonna answer exactly that. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's break down just how crazy things would get if Madara came back in 2 Blue Vortex. Before we start, which Madara are we even talking about? Pay attention, not Edo Tensei Madara, who was already ridiculous. Not Madara without his eyes. We're talking about Madara as the 10 Tails Jinchuriki at his absolute peak. And so you understand how massive that is. Here's what he's packing. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan with perfect Susanoo and Amaterasu. 2 original Rinnegan, complete control over gravity, and all 6 paths. Rinne Sharingan on his forehead, Kaguya's eye, capable of a planetary infinite Tsukuyomi. 6 paths Sage Mode, which multiplied every ability he already had. Limbo clones physical shadows that exist in a parallel dimension, totally invisible, and only someone with 6 paths power can even perceive them. 9 truth-seeking balls floating behind him, each one capable of leveling entire mountains. That's the guy we're dropping into the Boruto universe. And as for how that would even be possible, don't worry, we'll get to that. How would he come back? The 10 Tails was never actually destroyed. It was shattered, sealed in pieces, and the leftover fragments became the seeds of the very Shinju we're seeing in 2 Blue Vortex. Those weird trees that folded Kages, that drained chakra from Jinchuriki, they're literally branches of the same divine tree Madara tamed back in the day. So Jura starts absorbing chakra on a global scale. He pulls in way too much, and in doing so, he touches something he should have left alone. He pokes a consciousness that's been compressed for decades inside the 10 Tails fragments. Madara doesn't come back through Edo Tensei. He comes back as a will that materializes out of the 10 Tails itself. He doesn't have a perfect human body right away, but he has all the memories, all the tactical intelligence, and most importantly, the ambition is still there, fully intact. And the first thing he notices when he opens his eyes in this new world, that ninjas have gotten pathetic. Madara appears in the middle of some ruins on the outskirts of Konoha. It's a war zone. On one side, Boruto with his karma activated, floating in the air with a Rasengan loaded with Otsutsuki chakra. On the other, Kawaki with Ishiki's scientific modifications going haywire. In the middle, Sarada with her Mangekyo Sharingan blazing at full power, using the Ohirume. These 3 are the biggest threats in the current world, the 3 most dangerous living ninjas at this point in the story. Madara looks at all 3 of them, and he sets the tone for what this fight is about to be with one single line. These are the ninjas of this era, insects that can barely scratch the bark of a tree. Boruto turns his head, and for the first time in a long time, he feels something weird. Fear. Real fear. The Jugen in his eye activates on its own. That eye that reads chakra flow, sees through dimensions, and picks up on intent. And what Boruto sees in Madara isn't just a strong ninja, it's a natural disaster. The smaller Shinju that answer to Jura sense the danger before any human there does. And dude, they back up. Creatures that have taken out Kages like it's nothing take a step back instinctively because of a guy who's just standing there with his arms crossed. Madara notices. He smirks. At least these trees still recognize what real power looks like. But 3 of the lower Shinju lose control and attack. They launch pure chakra spikes, roots that drain energy, and shockwaves that cause mass destruction against Konoha's regular ninja. It all comes at Madara at once. Madara doesn't summon his Susanoo. He doesn't raise his hand. He doesn't make a single visible hand sign. The 3 Shinju just implode. They drop dead, crushed by brute force. Sarada's eyes go wide. She pushes her Mangekyo to its absolute limit, trying to track what just killed those things. She can't see anything, and that's terrifying. Her eye reads gravity, sees collapsing dimensions, perceives the flow of souls, but she can't see what just wiped out 3 Kage-level Shinju in a millisecond. Why? Because Limbo clones exist in a parallel dimension. They're physical shadows that hit just as hard as the original, and only someone with pure 6 paths power can see them. Madara, freshly awakened, with no complete body yet, was already using this ability on autopilot. Kawaki doesn't even want to think about it. He charges in. Karma activated dense chakra from alien DNA and tech going on. He goes for the punch. Madara stops him with one open hand. Shinra Tensei snaps through the air. Kawaki gets launched with so much force it tears up the ground for kilometers, leaving craters everywhere. And Madara barely even moved his arm. Sarada figures out a direct attack is suicide. She tries to use the Ohirume, those black gravity spheres that crush Shinju, that created miniature black holes on the battlefield. Madara uses Bancho Tenin to pull the spheres right back at her. Sarada dives out of the way at the very last second on pure instinct, but not fast enough. One sphere clips her right arm and partially crushes it. I can't see what he's using. The Mangekyo isn't picking up anything. It's like the attacks are coming out of nowhere. Kawaki, even knowing he's about to catch another beating, charges again. That's just Kawaki being Kawaki. He tries to close the distance, but eats another Shinra Tensei. Except this time, Madara amplifies the impact with the Rinnegan. The shockwave overloads Kawaki's left arm, the one with Ishiki's modifications. When the dust clears, the arm is destroyed. It's not responding. That arm is gone for this fight. He loses the very weapon he always hated having, all because he stepped up to a brawl he had no business being in. Jura senses the energy spike from far away and arrives on the battlefield. The head Shinju, face to face with a legend. Interesting, says Jura. The Ten Tails will has taken human form, but you're nothing more than a shadow of what the divine tree once was. Madara looks at him. The perfect Susanoo materializes that colossal purple chakra skeleton that on its own reshaped mountains during the war. The Susanoo brings the sword down on Jura head on. The impact carves a fissure in the ground for kilometers. Absolute destruction. But Jura stands right back up, completely intact. He's absorbing the chakra from the impact itself to heal. Madara clocks the ability, switches up his approach on the spot. The four limbo clones attack from every angle. Since they're not made of normal chakra and exist in a parallel dimension, Jura has no way to absorb them. The head Shinju takes an embarrassing beatdown from invisible forces, getting thrown around like a rag doll, while his own attacks pass straight through the Susanoo without doing a thing. Desperate, Jura splits the ground open. He summons a raw fragment of the original Ten Tails to absorb and heal himself. Red chakra rises through the cracked earth like lava from a volcano. You really think you can threaten me with my own origin? The Rinne Sharingan on Madara's forehead opens to full, and he just absorbs the Ten Tails fragment. No sealing ritual. The Ten Tails flows into him because Madara isn't a vessel. He is the creature's essence. The chakra pours into him like a waterfall. Jura panics, screaming, losing his own power source to the man who tamed this force in the past. The white cloak appears. The truth-seeking balls, those black spheres of absolute power, float up behind him. Madara, as the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, is back, complete and out for blood. And dude, this is the moment you start asking, where are the big guns from Konoha? Where are the so-called untouchables to step in and stop this? Simple. They're frozen in fear. Far away, locked down at the base, Ada broke a sweat. She had to physically hold Damon back. She figured it out immediately. Madara's killing intent was so massive, it would disintegrate Damon before his reflection ability could even activate. Too much raw power all at once. In the lab, Amado lit a cigarette with a shaking hand. He stared at the screens, watching his divine tech look like a toy compared to the Uchiha's absolute chakra dominance. In Kashin Koji, he swallowed hard, watching everything in silence from another dimension. He'd read millions of possible futures at once, and in every single one, he knew one thing. Any move he made would throw off Madara's attack pattern and blow the only chance Boruto and the others had to turn things around. He was forced to sit on his hands. With the threat reaching a global level, Momoshiki manifests from inside Boruto's karma, and for once, he's quiet, thinking. That man is trying to do something no human ever has. He's violating the natural order of power, rising from human to Otsutsuki through his own effort alone, without being chosen. This should never exist. We can't let this happen. In that moment, Momoshiki gives everything. For the first time in the series, it's not Boruto using Momoshiki as a tool, it's Momoshiki willingly going all in, because Madara's threat is existential, even for an Otsutsuki. The karma activates at a level nobody's ever seen. Rinnegan in the palms, Byakugan active, dense purple chakra from an alien entity. Madara turns to Boruto and smiles, for real, for the first time. Now we're talking. This is a fight. Madara reads every move. He combines Mangekyo, Rinnegan, and decades of war experience into an insane level of battle processing. Boruto feints and throws a massive Rasengan. Madara absorbs half of it with the Rinnegan, redirects the rest, and uses the energy to buff the limbo. The four clones surround Boruto in midair. One shot guaranteed. Normally, that's fatal, but Momoshiki sees through dimensions he spent millennia traveling between planes. The limbo clones are visible to him. Boruto dodges every single one and counters with the Rinnegan palm, absorbing the clone's chakra. Madara pauses for a second. You're stealing my limbo. Learn from a good teacher. And then Baryon mode kicks in. Boruto blows past his limit. Every hit he lands burns through the Ten Tails inside Madara. Boruto is literally consuming his fuel. The destruction tears across the map. It wasn't exactly the same Baryon mode as Naruto's. It was an unstable version, created by the fusion of karma and Momoshiki's chakra. In the middle of all the chaos, Sarada makes an insane call. She stops fighting and just watches Madara. With her Mangekyo focused at maximum, she can't directly see the limbo clones, but she starts analyzing the spatial distortions, the wind patterns, and the invisible attack patterns, pushing the Sharingan's processing to an extreme. Madara notices right away. The girl with the broken eye is reading my limbo. Madara doesn't let it slide. He sends a truth-seeking ball, flying at the speed of sound straight at Sarada's head. Kawaki, one arm already gone, pulls off a suicidal dash and throws himself in front of her. The explosion sends both of them flying. Kawaki tanks the damage, but Sarada, even covered in blood, doesn't stop helping Boruto. With one arm destroyed and on the ground, she becomes Boruto's eyes. Boruto realizes he can't kill him. Baryon mode is burning through the Ten Tails lifespan, but Madara's body keeps regenerating. That's the rule of a Jinchuriki. He has to be sealed. Boruto, Sarada, and Kawaki sync up on the edge of exhaustion. They push in from 3 angles that Sarada mapped out. They pull off a 3-point Fuinjutsu, a heavy sealing technique, locking down the chakra currents around Madara. Same concept that won the 4th Great Ninja War, now being pulled off by 3 kids fighting for their lives. The chains pull tight. Madara is immobilized, alive, conscious, and furious. And as the seal closes, he says one last thing. You're more interesting than I thought, kid, but know this, as long as the Otsutsuki exist above you, you're just a tool for them. When you truly understand that, when your rage is bigger than your fear, when the gods finally crush this world, you're all going to wish I was still free. The seal closes, and Madara is sealed away, just like Kaguya. The dust settles. The scene is absolute devastation. The map has been literally rewritten. The area around Konoha isn't a forest anymore. It's a crater, blown out by the clash between truth-seeking balls and Baryon mode. The shockwave was so insane that other ninja nations felt it from across the continent. The Kages, watching from a distance, understood they wouldn't have stood a chance if any of that had come their way. The smaller Shinju, without Jura's intelligence to guide them, went feral and scattered across the world like wild beasts. The price of this win was brutal. Kawaki is laid out on the ground, one arm gone, waiting on a miracle from science. Sarada's arm is in a makeshift sling, and her Mangekyo is flirting with permanent blindness. Boruto is still standing, but Baryon mode took its toll and shaved years off his life. They won. Madara got sealed, but the vibe in the air is heavy. Madara just rubbed it in the face of this new generation. You don't have to be born an alien to go toe-to-toe with gods. With Ten Tails chakra and a mind warped by a hunger for power, a human can stand eye to eye with the top of the Otsutsuki food chain. If he got that close, another villain could try to walk that same path someday. Dude, Madara Uchiha isn't just another villain who hits hard. He's living proof that power has no ceiling when the ambition is absolute. Unlike these trees that run on instinct, Madara has strategy, patience, and a plan. That makes him more dangerous than any Shinju, more dangerous than Juro himself, because creatures have instincts. Madara has ambition. And what about you? You think Madara would have bodied every Otsutsuki if he had 5 more minutes loose? Drop your theory in the comments. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe so you don't miss anything, and click on the video that's showing up on screen right now. Thanks, and catch you next time.